Hey fabulous people, it's Jo here with another episode of This is Private Practice. So today is Monday the 29th of May and it's a Monday. So Jo works half-heartedly on a Monday. Ha ha ha. No, not really. So I gave up yoga today because I needed to spend some time with my son this afternoon. And I also wasn't feeling great and I knew that I wasn't a push through kind of morning. It was a let's take care of ourselves kind of morning. And I really think that that's an important lesson that we all need to learn for ourselves is when do we push through and when do we not push through, and when is it time to just go, okay, today it's not the right time to be pushing through. It's really hard because I know for me, if I'm not pushing through, I feel lazy or like I'm not going to do something or I'm going to miss out on something. But this morning I was just so freaking exhausted. Last week was a massive week being in Melbourne and meeting with lots of customers and hanging out with some really great people and catching up with the awesome Nicola. The awesome Nicola. But Monday today was about getting the bits and the pieces done. I don't know about you, if you've ever felt like you are drowning in bits and pieces. I think a lot of us refer to this as administration, but I don't really think that's what it is. I think it's just lots of bits and pieces. And as our businesses grow and as we grow, as we do more, if we have more clinicians or more service contracts or offering more products, then there's more moving parts. If we have online marketing and offline marketing, if we have email marketing, if we have content marketing and social media marketing, there's so many more moving parts. And I think today was a day when some of the moving parts just needed a little grease and oil change and a little bit of attention. So I've had moving parts to deal with my finances, had some juggling to do, I've had some bills that needed to be paid, I've had some bills come in that weren't expected. That's always fun. I've had some reports I've needed to finish off. I've had proofreading to do today. I've had lots of emails to attend to today. I've had follow-up to do following on from the marketing meetings last week. I've had clinical work that I've had to do myself today. So there's lots and lots of bits and pieces that just needed my attention. And a symptom of me having lots of bits and pieces is I end up with a pile right in front of my desk, a pile to my right because I'm right-hand dominant. I used to have a pile behind me, but then I just moved that over to a pile on top of my filing cabinet. I love my piles. It is the best filing system I've ever created. I think what happens is as clinicians, we get used to talking about our clients. And I don't know about you, but I used to be able to hold all the pertinent information about my clinical clients in my head. So I would be running a caseload of 30 and I could tell you what was going on for them, why they were seeing me, where we were headed, what their major barriers were, what their biggest issues were. And at one stage, I remember being able to do that for another 11 consultants. And that's because I was building that muscle about retention of information about clinical clients. That was the primary role that I functioned in. I was the team leader. I wanted to make sure that all the clients in the business were getting the services that they needed. So I built that muscle in my brain, or that part of my brain that held all that information and could manipulate that information and could use that information. What's interesting though is as I've reduced my caseload and become more and more focused on other parts of my business, my ability to hold information about clients has just significantly reduced. I don't rely on my memory for information. I have to take exceptionally good clinical notes and have to always have an action plan after I write my clinical notes, which is actually just good practice, people. So it's easy for me to come back to and go, right, where are we up to? What are we doing? Why am I doing this again? And what's really interesting is that now that I have a caseload of 4 clinical clients, I often forget that I have them. Oops, not because they're not important to me or I don't want to work with them, but because I'm constantly thinking about finances and strategy and marketing and coaching and bringing on new team members. I'm currently upskilling a couple of my team members within Purple Co to take over some of the volume of the proofreading because that's a developmental need in the business. It's a problem if all the proofreading and quality assurance falls back on me because I get busy and things get left behind, and you can't have a quality assurance system that isn't time effective because then it just becomes messy and ugly. And if you have to reprimand somebody or improve a process, if you don't do it in the moment, then it gets lost and forgotten about and has no context. And then you try and go and talk to your team members about it and they're going, why are you bringing this up with me now? I've been doing it this way for 6 months. Are you telling me that the whole 6 months I've been doing it wrong? Yeah, don't be doing that. That's not smart. So my capacity to think about lots of things hasn't changed, but my capacity to think about lots of different things in different stages and different contexts has grown. My ability to think about finances and how it relates to marketing and how it relates to clinical service delivery, to how many consultants I need in my business, to who's going to do the work and how my cash flow should be flowing as a result of that. Also about when I can take time off and what the training needs are in the business and the skill levels of the people in the business and where the gaps are and where we might be able to plug some of those gaps in. So that's my capacity for thinking now. So it's not, I don't think my capacity to keep details has changed. Don't enjoy details, but I can certainly keep a lot of information in my head. It's just the way I use information and manipulate information and use memory and recall has changed. The other thing that's really important to know is that as you get tired, and so if you haven't drunk enough water, if you haven't eaten well, if you're depleted, so you're tired, your capacity for your cognitive functions decreases. So it's useless for me to be doing technical, cognitively demanding work after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I just get really tired. So that's when it's fun for me to do social media marketing or reviewing some articles for content curation or cleaning out my inbox or doing something fun on Canva. Not that I should be doing fun things on Canva, but sometimes I want to, so sometimes I shall. So private practice is a journey, and the way it looks today is going to be different to the way it looks in 5 years' time if you want it to. You might be really happy with the way things are going for you right now, and you don't want it to change, and you don't want to do anything different. And growth strategies aren't important to you now. I've worked with some clients where we've actually had to go, wrong time of your life for growth strategies. 3 kids not in school yet? Hey, we need to focus on something else as opposed to a growth strategy. Or you've got other things going on. You're helping people manage health crisis or university or different stages of life. It doesn't always have to be about the pursuit of growth or the pursuit of growth or the pursuit of growth. But if we're not growing as people, then as clinicians, I've got to question what we're actually giving our clients. There's a lot in that today, isn't there? Well, this is private practice. Jo's been musing. Hope it's all going really well for you. Looking forward to talking to you again tomorrow.